Hi, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric, and I, well, how do I say it? I make apps. That's my thing. This week, I'm going to make it sound spontaneous every day. I'm going to try to make it, I'm going to keep saying the same thing, but I'm going to change it up a little bit. That's my challenge for myself this week. So today, I want to talk about the new Google Play policies and how they're affecting me. But first, I want to show you this cool intro that was just sent in this morning. Oh, was that awesome or what? So that was actually, big thanks to Ken York, who's in Tokyo. He's an American living in Tokyo. You see him in the comments as YD Digital. He sent that through to me this morning and says, hey Eric, you need a new intro, and he sent that through. And I was like, kind of like, well, we were already working on one, because I thought, well, when we get to episode 100, we'll do like a new intro, because we keep doing them over and over again. So Sandy, our designer, she's had it on her to-do list to work on a new one. It was gonna be really short, but then Ken sent that one through, and I just thought it was pretty awesome. So let me know what you guys think. And thanks very much, Ken, YD Digital, and everything like that. That's just that's what the logo is, right? That's what that logo is. So today I want to talk about Google Play policies, and they've changed in the last few weeks. I think to coincide with Google I/O, and there's been so many changes lately with Google Play. Anyway, so you may have seen a comment on episode number 91 from Arsad Rahman. Thanks so much, Arsad, for bringing this up. He said, did you check the developer policy that they updated? Seems like your application earspy violates the policy malicious behavior. Right? And actually, I had seen it before you brought that up, Arsad. It was one of these things where I was going through and looking at the new policies and everything, which is I don't do for fun, but finally I thought, okay, I'll check out to see if there's anything different. And then sure enough, like under malicious behavior, there's this rule there, which is it's for apps that monitor and track user behavior. So we use Firebase Analytics, so I thought, well, that kind of applies to us. And the first one on the list is apps must not present themselves as a spying or secret surveillance solution. And of course, my biggest app is called earspy. So, we had this, my idea for an app was to have something like, it was just like a hearing augmenter, so that the sound comes in through the speaker, goes out through the headphones, and we have a little graphic equalizer, and you can adjust it. And then I thought, actually, no, what you could do is, if you had Bluetooth, it could be like a spy device. So we did that. Did the app, two versions of the app. We have Ear Assist and we have Ear Spy. Ear Assist does okay. It gets like a couple hundred downloads a day. It's like the hearing aid app. And then we got Ear Spy, the spy app. Exactly the same. Nothing's different about it, except one's blue and one's red. Right? And Ear Spy gets, between 5,000 or 6,000 downloads a day. So that's the one that generates, almost all of my revenue. So that my heart sank when I read that. And my first instinct was to just hope for the best. Like first thing I thought, it's the same way I think about if I find a mole or something, think, oh, just keep an eye on it, right? But because I already have a few strikes against me, I have a couple strikes against me with Google Play, I thought, actually that's not a really good policy. And plus, if they suspend it, that's it, it's just gone. So according to the Google Play developer the console, they sent the thing saying check your policies. You have 30 days to comply if you're out of the policy and everything. So this weekend I did a lot of work on client work this weekend, but I also spent a lot of time trying to think of new names. And I was trying to think of something that rhymed, like ear fly, ear guy or something. And then in the end, we just went with ear agent. So that's what we're doing at the moment. We're going through and renaming it ear agent, which is, it just kills me. You know why? Because like if you type in spy, it depends on the country that you're in, but in most countries, if you go into Google Play and type spy, my app will be the first one. Like we just rank really well for that keyword, right? And so every time somebody talks about Android security issues or spying on users or whatever, and if somebody goes to investigate it, ours will come up first. But we don't do any of that stuff. I mean, all I have is Firebase Analytics and AdMob, right? And even then, like, we don't do anything online. We don't transmit any signals or whatever. I could go to Toys R Us and find a thing. I shouldn't admit this, but I've seen toys at Toys R Us, like since I put this app out, that do exact same thing, right? Just for kids. But the language, the wording of that policy just scares me. And I try to email a few people thinking, well, maybe if I just take analytics out, then that'll be compliant. And then I thought, no. I mean, for those of you who've gotten that dreaded email that says, we're suspending your app, and then you go through the appeals process, it's not the most friendly thing in the world. I mean, the time I went through it before, it was just like, you know, they'll send one response, you know, yes or no, and I don't think that, I don't know how much thought they put into it. And if you go in and try to just, you know, go through the help and just try to get them to advise on it, they won't do that. It just says, you know, we won't, they don't provide guidance, you just have to read the policy. So it was, do we bite the bullet and change it, or do we just hope for the best? And so in the end, at first I was like, we're just gonna hope for the best. And then I thought, that's stupid. If they remove that, if they, let's say that's too many strikes, they suspend my whole account, then we lose everything, the language games, everything else. And I would be like, you know, I'd be an app developer who only does iPhone apps, and that would really, really suck. So we're in the process of changing that. And when I say the process, it should be easy, except for, you know, this guy here is a big localization guy, so I had it translated into like every language that Google Play has. So a lot of them was easy, like the strings.xml in the Android app, that's easy because you just, you know, it's just the name, right? But it's all the, like all the descriptions and stuff, right? And I tell you what, it's the same app, it's like doesn't do anything. Well, I mean, it does, I mean, it's good. People use it, you know, they'll put in the comments, I use it for nature, I use it to listen to ghosts, or, you know, ghost hunting or whatever, fixing mechanics or whatever. They say, I don't actually use it for spying. But, you know, so, you know, but that's the sexiness of it. That's the sex appeal of the app. So we're gonna call it Ear Agent, and we went through loads of different names over the weekend. Just trying to, and we went with Ear Agent because then we don't have to change the icon. We're gonna take out everything that says spy or surveillance or, you know, eavesdropping. We're gonna remove all those really great keywords that people, you know, like. I mean, to give you an idea what made me think that this was like a really good thing, and it's like, I'm not a creepy guy. Like, every time I think about enhancing this, I think we could have it like you can upload it to a website and then you can listen to it from remote places and everything, but I thought that's way too creepy. Like, I won't do that, right? It's just, you know, first of all, that's, I mean, it's probably illegal anyway, and it's just like, as a, you know, as a user, I think it's too creepy. So we're always just, you know, the furthest you can get away is like from the, if you have a Bluetooth, maybe you can put it in the next room, the same way you can with the baby monitor. So, you know, it doesn't transmit anything like that, right? So I mean, I've been really, you know, careful with that. But at the same time, when I tell people about the app, you know, I tell them, like, you know, I said, well, I got this app called Ears, like, because it's kind of embarrassing, right? So, and every time I want to make a change to it, some things just don't really go with the whole theme, so we're changing this. So I was gonna say, a few years ago I met with a client, one of my early clients, and he was like asking about some of my apps. I told him Ear Spy, and he goes, oh yeah, I saw that on your website. He goes, what does it do, right? And he was like, he downloaded it on his phone. He goes, and it was weird because he went, do you think I could listen to those people over there? It was the way he hunched his shoulders up and just sort of did that. It was like this mischievous thing that I thought, maybe I should keep going with this. So I kind of went with the whole creepiness thing, even though it does the exact same thing as the Ear Assist does, which is, you know, just augment your hearing. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing now, and it pains me. So like a week from now, I might have a lot less money, you know, all this kind of stuff. I'm going through now, and I made all the changes in the strings.config, all the English versions, but I gotta go find some translators to do all the other ones. The thing is, if you go through Google Play, they have this translation services, and they quoted me like, I think already it's like $1,400, and that's like just the descriptions, which is ridiculous. Yeah, I could get it, you know, it didn't cost me that much when I got it done to begin with. So anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on how that goes. And another thing is, we have so many, you know, there's so many copycats. Like, they use the same red and black colors, the same spy thing. They put it in a medical category. A lot of them use the same name. They use the same description. We have to keep reporting them all the time. And then what am I going to do? I'm going to go ahead and change it, right? It just feels so counterintuitive. But as I've said before, you don't mess with Google. But anyway, so my hope is that because it has so many reviews, because it has so many downloads, that it's going to somehow keep up in the rankings, as opposed to where if it got suspended and I had to start again, that would be really bad. I'd have to start all over again with the new keywords and new all that kind of stuff, and I'd be, you know, competing against all my copycats then, right? So hopefully everything will buoy up, and I kind of see it as like, you know, in the mafia movies where the mafia, they make all that dirty money from the drugs and gambling, and then they go legit. The new design is going to help me go legit. I'll be less embarrassed about it, and then we can put some new features in there, and then hopefully, just focus on the hearing amplification part. So, but anyway, from an ASO point of view, I'm crushed. From a marketing point of view, all the stuff we put out there, all the ads, everything, it's all going to be, it's all going to have the wrong name on it. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. But it's been when I said last week is a turbulent week. It's been a turbulent week over last week. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks again, Ken, for that intro, that new intro. We'll use that for a while. Let me know what you guys think of that. And then that's it. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.